like what you gave. I went deep enough. I went deep enough. The woman tested the authenticity of the voice of man and found it to be faulty. And because of that, she began to doubt the voice of God. This her doubt of the voice of God was what opened the gate to the subtle one. Next verse. What was the response of the serpent? Ye shall not surely die. The subtle one have started with his subtlety. Now he understands the message. He knows what God is trying to do. He's building precepts into their lives that will preserve them from destruction, because humankind is an endangered species that can be destroyed. So he saw that God was building precepts into their everyday so that they will be delivered from the possibility of destruction. So it is the precept that Satan attacks. He now told them, it's not death the way you think. You will not surely die. There is a knowledge that God has that he has kept from you. And that knowledge is that in the day that you eat of this food, you become wise, like the gods, like the deities, knowing good and evil. It means, are you there? So the product, stay with me quickly. The product that Satan sold to them, that was his bait to provoke their desire, was a knowledge. Are you there? That was what Satan sold. That there was a knowledge that was under God's hand that he is protecting you from. But that knowledge is a knowledge of your enhancement. Can you see what he's selling to them is humanism? When you come into the full scope of humanism, because the doctrine of humanism is that you are the God you are looking for. There's no need for you to seek for God because you are God all by yourself. So what you need to do now is to explore you. So that's where astral, meditation for astral travel and all those psychic powers. That's the root of it. And that's what Satan sold. He sold the possibility of a knowledge that was under God's hand. That the day you stumble upon that knowledge, you will become like God. So the real object that Satan attacks are the precepts that God gives humankind for her preservation. Because Satan wants you to commit trespass, to go beyond the boundaries that God has set, because he knows that you can be manipulated in your decision-making process. Oh yeah, are you with me? Your decision-making process, that's the first platform of your manipulation. Decision-making process. The way we know someone that is laboring under a curse is that we check your decision-making process. How do you come about the choices that you make? If I can ask you two questions, I will know if your thoughts are independent or if there are demons that are manipulating you. Just three questions. Because Satan wants to manipulate your decision-making process. See, so what he did here was that he discredited the authority of the word of God. And the woman already had that tendency because of her experience. So he made the word of God to be trivial and then gave his own interpretation to the word of God. Such interpretation that will expose them to a journey of transgression. And transgression means going beyond the boundaries that God has set. Because when you go beyond the boundaries that God has set, grace can no longer cover you. You are vulnerable. That's your description. So the reason for precepts is to protect. The reason for precepts are guidelines. Just like when you buy a commodity in the marketplace, it comes with a manual. A manual that reveals how that product is supposed to be fully, the potential of that product is supposed to be fully maximized. So precepts are guidelines from the manufacturer, designed to reveal how the product is supposed to function. And you must understand that man can be destroyed just in case he trivializes the guidelines. Are you there? Now, so number one, Satan wants to be in charge of your decision-making processes. And that's why he says, ye shall not surely die. Did you get that? Number two, Satan wants to be in charge of your actions. He wants to be the one that is responsible for your responses. Responses. Decision-making processes, responses. Three, Satan wants to be in charge of your choices. He wants to be responsible for the choices that you make. Decisions, choices, responses, or actions. If Satan can take over these three chambers of your existence, he will destroy you. So when we go into the nitty-gritty of precepts, you're going to see that there are guidelines to protect your decision-making processes, your choices, and your actions. Are you still with me? Okay. So Satan sold a product to them. He sold a product, and the product that he sold is a knowledge. It's a knowledge. Do you realize why the tree is called the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Or you are not here? So he sold that knowledge. Now, let me give you an insight. The knowledge we are talking about here is experiential. Because if you are going to eat of the fruit, you are going to eat of it and digest it. So that's experiential knowledge. Stay with me. Did you get that? Now, it is easier. It is easier. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. It is easier if your husband knows what it means to be drunk intellectually. It is easier to pray for him than when he knows what it means to be drunk experientially. You didn't get me. It is easier for you to help someone that knows what it means to desire wrong sex. He knows this intellectually. If the person now knows it experientially, the person has already accessed a knowledge, which is an experiential dimension of knowledge, of how wrong sex, how it is. He has a knowledge. A knowledge that it would have been easier for him to get by in the program of God if he had not yet explored that experiential dimension of knowledge. He has violated a precept in order for him to have that experience. You know what the meaning of his condition is? The diagnosis of his condition. He has opened the gateway. Most of his problems are going to come from that gateway that he has opened. Most of his problems will come from there. And it will take the hand of God for that gateway to be shut. So God knows it's easier for you to be guided by precepts so that you don't enter into the realm of experiential knowledge that is unauthorized. Are you there? Now, in our business as deliverance ministers, and we have done deliverance all over the nations. All over the nations. And I don't want to go into details, but we have done deliverance all over the nations. Now, we've even had dignitaries whose children have demonic troubles seek audience with us privately so that we can administer help. When you put the person on the hot seat and you begin to ask a few questions to know what door was open, these are challenges that would have been avoided. But you see, if there is a door that is open, the person that wants to be delivered will need to make double effort to seek the presence of God. And most of them are not ready for it. Double effort to seek God. Double effort to migrate into God. The door that you open can be closed, but it will take double effort. It will be harder than you just listening to precepts and aligning yourself. It will be harder than that. Because the knowledge that you have is experiential. Okay? I don't know how to tell you this. No. You will misinterpret it. And maybe the person I want to talk about is listening to me now, so the person we know say, hey. Are you still here? Okay. So, but in order for you to fully understand that, I think I need to tell you. Okay, you keep it. All right. Now, you see, we were raised to be Puritans. We were raised to believe in holiness and to walk in it. We were told that the unit measurement of the temple was in degrees of holiness. From the outer court to the holy place and to the Holy of Holies. That's the journey that a man will walk if he wants to minister before the glory of God. So we were taught to be Puritans. We were trained to be Puritan. So a brother went on a mission field, and he was, I don't know how to explain it. He was manipulated and he slept with a strange woman. So when he got back from that mission field, he couldn't tell anybody. He told me. We now led him in confession, went in prayers and all of that before the Lord and all. But I realized that from that day, most of his temptations were around that side. He can go 2 years of victory, and after 2 years of victory, he can go 7 years of victory. Meanwhile, if he had kept the precept, do you understand it? If he had kept the precept, it would have been easier for him to maintain his victory. But now, because he has experiential knowledge, the only way out is that he needs to pursue the Lord in the most desperate way. Initially, I thought he was doing that. Are you there? But obviously, he did not make, it was not consistent. And so Satan will always be knocking at your life in the direction of that vulnerability. Notice that the one that we are dealing with here is the subtle one. And he will travel along the fault lines to find an opening into your life that he will keep exploiting until he destroys you. So come with me. This was the result of So after Satan finished preaching to the woman, verse 6 shows us psychological analysis, the way she processed the information that